Hey y'all, it's week 15 on Wegovy. It's just a short and simple week. We had so many leftovers from last week, so many waffles. So if you missed that video, make sure you check it out. I'll put the link up in the eye in the sky. Anyway, this week we're going to be eating a honey garlic glazed pork loin roast with roasted potatoes and green beans. And we're also going to be doing a garlic butter shrimp with rice. So all of the recipes, as always, are going to be linked down in the description below. If you want a detailed calorie and macro breakdown of everything that I've eaten this week, I'll have a link to my FitnessPal profile where you can see my food diary. All right, if there's any of these recipes that sound good to you, make sure you give the video a like. Let's get cooking. All right, let's try this honey garlic glazed pork roast. We're gonna need a fair amount of seasoning, some Dijon, paprika, thyme, onion and garlic powder, salt and pepper, some honey. The recipe calls for Brussels sprouts. I'm not really much of a fan, so I have green beans here, a pork loin, some garlic. The recipe calls for, I think, regular potatoes. I was in the mood for sweet potatoes, so I picked up some sweet potatoes for myself, and then some red potatoes for my husband because he will not eat sweet potatoes, and some soy sauce. So let's throw this together. All right, so first we're going to get this pork going. I'm not a big fan of using paper towels very often, but the one place that I will use paper towels is to dry off meat to make it easier to deal with. Okay, this recipe tells you to dry off the meat and then add a tablespoon of oil to make it easier to stick the seasonings on it, but I just don't think that's necessary, so I'm not going to do it. I have my oven preheating to 375, and then I just have a foil-lined baking sheet to make my life a lot easier here, because this glaze is going to have a fair amount of sugar in it, and it will burn or brown really aggressively. All right, so in here I have a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then a half teaspoon each of onion powder and dried thyme. The recipe calls for rosemary, but I am not a fan of rosemary, so I did not put it in it because it's my kitchen and I do what I want. And then you also need salt and pepper to taste, so I kept that separate. And then I put together the glaze, and in here I have 4 cloves of very large cloves of garlic, a quarter cup of honey, 3 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce, a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and a tablespoon of olive oil. And this is going to get split up between the pork and the veggies. And it tastes delicious. All right, so we are going to, well, it says to lightly spray it with cooking spray. That I feel better about than a tablespoon of oil for no reason. Okay. And then we're going to, I'm going to start with the salt and pepper because I want to make sure that that has direct contact with the meat. This is a very thick roast, so season more than you think you should. There we go. And pepper. Good enough for me. And then we're going to do the rub. Take off my ring. And I'm going to rub this in. And I'm going to turn it over. And I have enough salt on the top side for both, so I'm not gonna bother. That smells good. All right, so we've got that. Oh, that's what it wants me to do. It wants me to sear it. Okay, let's get this sucker seared. And let that go for 3 to 5 minutes per side until it's browned all over. So from here, we're going to just cover this with the glaze. And then we're gonna stick it in the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. Feels like a lot of glaze. Nope. I took out 2 tablespoons of it to set aside to go into my veggies, but there it is. Let's stick this in the oven. All right, while the roast is in the oven, in here I have some green beans and sweet potatoes just cut into half moons, and I have 1 tablespoon of avocado oil in here already. And then I'm gonna add the 2 tablespoons of that reserved glaze. Just use these tongs. And I'm gonna toss these around until they're all coated, and then I think I'm gonna add, don't worry, I washed it off. Okay, and then we're just gonna toss these around, and I am gonna add some more salt and pepper to these because I feel like that's, like with just the glaze, that's not enough seasoning for all these veggies. I have more veggies than the recipe calls for. Because I like my veg. And get a bigger bowl than me because I'm just making a mess. Yeah, I think that's good and tossed. All right, so now I'm just gonna wait the 25 minutes for that roast to be done, and then I will toss these on another foil-lined baking sheet, and I'm gonna cut up some plain red potatoes for my husband, and we'll go from there. Brr. I know my glasses. It's a tent. I can't see. Check out this roast. The seasoning is really nice. I did let it get a little further cooked than I would have preferred, so it's a tad bit dry, but I'm gonna try the veggies. Yep. Veggies are the best part. It was really yummy though. You should give this a try. It was pretty easy. All right, so we're gonna get started on this garlic butter shrimp and rice. We're gonna need some salt and pepper. This rice cooker is currently making some prepared rice. We need 2 cups of prepared rice. The recipe calls for minute rice, but I don't really use that, so I'm just cooking it up. That's 2/3 of a cup of rice for my rice cooker, which cooks up to 2 full cups. Anyway, we're gonna need some butter, some Parmesan cheese. This is Parmigiano Reggiano. I keep it in the freezer. Then we also have some shrimp, some garlic, and your milk of choice. All right, let's get going. Taste this shrimp and rice. It's quite tasty, but in order for me to fit this in my calorie goal, the portion is huge. I think you could reduce the amount of butter in this by like half, and it would probably still taste the same, and you could eat like twice as much. It also needed way more rice in order to make it work for my husband and I. So if you were doing this for like one dinner for a family of 4 with 2 kids, it would probably work, but we probably won't make this one again. Flavor wise, it's really delicious. If you're the only one in your house and you're meal prepping, sure. But I did crave vegetables with this. Like I had a salad with it, but I still would have liked like some broccoli or something inside of it. So worth trying if you're a really big fan of shrimp and garlic and Parmesan and all those things, which, I mean, those things are all delicious, but the juice wasn't worth the squeeze for us. So this probably won't be a repeat for us, but it was really delicious. So.
Cause I hate seeing tears streaming down your face. I know you're strong, won't feel this way for long, no. If you wanna go out, we can go out. We can hide away just for one night. But if you wanna cry, just let it out.
Alright guys, that's it for this week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and let me know which recipes you're planning to try. I post cooking and weight loss results videos every week, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can find out how much weight I lost eating all these delicious recipes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.